Okay, good morning and welcome to the first lead generation and conversion coaching call of 2022. I want to start doing these consistently. I don't know if this is going to be our set day or time or not. We'll have to see how that goes. Trying to kind of maneuver this in so it hits everybody's schedule is, as you can imagine, difficult. But what I will say is that I'm going to record each one of these sessions and I'm going to put it in the ecosystem for all agents to view this, because there are a lot of collateral benefits, goals of this program that are really, really, really important. Now, some people may be confused, so I want to just kind of clear up any questions that may kind of be lingering out there about what is Boomtown? Why aren't we just focusing on KV Core? Why are we incorporating these two platforms to work together? What is this all about? And so in this program, KV Core actually stops functioning as your primary database and transitions into more of a lead generation tool through the content creation that it provides, the bells and whistles that it has. The one of the biggest ones that that I'm wanting to focus on is the blog feature. So KV Core, every CRM, top 5, top 10 CRM in the real estate industry has some similar bells and whistles and some different technological innovations, and every one of them has its kind of pros and cons. One of the cons with Boomtown is that the website customization is not as extensive as it is on KV Core, and I really feel like a real estate agent's website, your personal real estate website, is the modern day real estate agent storefront. That's like your office location. That's how much things have changed in the real estate industry. Real estate agents are evolving from salespeople to business owners, and their individual brick and mortar, if you will, has become this virtual online space, because that's where 90 plus, I mean, it's a high number. It's more like mid, 90 percentile of people that are beginning their home search are doing that online. And a lot of, home sellers, are starting their research online, and they're looking for real estate agents who are content creators, who are visible, who have a consistent online presence. And that online presence, exudes confidence and track record, experience, testimonials, all that stuff kind of goes into this equation. So I would love to see agents develop their KV Core website in a very robust manner, really brand it, use all the customization features that are available, really have a nice bio on there. The bio on KV Core and on Boomtown, those bios need to be different. They don't need to be the same. And we're going to, hopefully maybe we'll have time to touch on that, but it really goes into, we're not going to do it like a deep dive on content creation this morning. This is really just an overview to kick this program off and make sure that all your questions are answered. But search engine optimization, one of the rules that just cannot be broken is the necessity for unique, fresh, original content. You can't rip off and duplicate when it comes to the text portion of this. I mean, you can rip off and duplicate ideas, but it needs to be done in a very unique and a very, original way. So I'd love to see you guys kind of run with that and, start writing consistent blogs. I know I said I wasn't going to get into content creation, but, from this point forward, every listing you take, you're going to blog about it. But we're going to develop your YouTube channel in addition to consistent blogs. YouTube is the #2 search engine behind Google, and Google really appreciates it when you submit blogs that answer questions that its consumers have that they type into their search engines. So their most popular, most consistent, search phrases, if we write blogs and create videos that answer those queries, Google really likes that. Okay. And they will position us and they will help us essentially to become a business partner. They will help us be positioned in front of active home buyers and sellers. So content creation drives lead generation. You'll hear me just hammer that home nonstop. And as promised, we will go through a lot of different content ideas, and we'll share ideas and we'll share what's working, and be able to learn and grow from each other's experiences. One of the kind of things I really want to focus on this initial call is just the database management portion of it and how important database management is. Now, I spend my days, talking to other companies, trying to get them to see the light, if you will, why they should join us, because they're not having these conversations in their current brokerage around the importance of building and managing a database, which it blows my mind, because you guys will hear, you've probably heard me say this, and you will hear me say this over and over and over. The value of a real estate business is determined by the size and strength of relationships within that database. And so many agents don't have databases that they consistently maintain. It blows my mind that this is like priority #1 is your database, and most agents don't have one. Let's follow the data, right? Let's follow the research, and let's not stray from the data. You've heard me say this again very redundantly, that the path is math, the path is math, the path is math. Let's focus on the data and let the data guide us to what our top priorities in real estate need to be. Okay. And so database is very high up there. If not #1, I believe it is #1. But it's also really important how, when we put people into this database, that we nurture them. We just don't put them in there and put them on an automated drip and just let technology do the conversion or the nurturing for us. Okay. So technology is never going to replace relationship building. That personal connection is always going to be fostered on a very personal level. And so we need to call people. We need to call people in our database at least once a quarter from our sphere of influence. Speed to lead is really, really important for newly generated leads. I would highly encourage everybody that watches this training that you Google, just go to Google and punch in the search bar, type into the search bar, real estate agent speed to lead MIT study or something to that effect, and read the study that MIT did on speed to lead and how crucial it is to contact our newly registered leads within 5 minutes of them entering into our lead management system into Boomtown. It's like not always realistic that we will be free within that first 5-minute time period to make that call, but in a lot of times we will. And really the goal here is as soon as possible. Like as soon as possible, you need to call them, and you need to make several attempts. Like I think, we talk about the 7 to 15 touches. So you don't want to give up on an internet lead until you've made 7 to 15 attempts to establish a conversation with this person. I really feel like if you're doing a maximum of 7, then a minimum of 6 attempts with the phone needs to be made. That's why I'm a fan of more towards the 15 touch, because I think 6 should be calls. A handful of the remainder should be emails, or you should just divide the remainder between texts and emails. And I would try voice to text, video text. I would get creative. I also would be remiss if I didn't, remind you guys to use your Facebook PMs or your Instagram DMs to try to reach these leads. I would try to friend these people on social media, try to friend them, follow them, try to connect with them via social media. That will kind of segue me into something that was not in my notes, but is really, really important. This stresses, like when we really get deep into, the activity of trying to build relationships with people we don't know yet online, we need to understand that they're going to our personal Facebook page and they're using our personal Facebook page as a digital resume. So our personal Facebook page needs to be very current and there needs to be very consistent postings on there that showcase who we are as husbands, wives, grandfathers, grandmothers, real estate agents, sisters, brothers, sons, daughters, community advocates, community volunteers. What are our hobbies? What are our favorite foods? What are our favorite colors? Do we love to travel? Who we are. It needs to be a very comprehensive and very well-rounded view of who we are. So there's a lot of elements that are, triggered that need to be given attention once we get into this. And consistently posting on our social media channels is one of those, in addition to blogging and YouTube videos and all that stuff, reels and stories. So it really gets us, there's an extra motivation or incentive to really get consistent and disciplined with content creation. But I also want to make this point, okay? It's not just about newly generated leads or trying to convert non-Mets to Mets, trying to build relationships with people we're encountering online. This is also really going to ramp up your sphere of influence. The content creation, the consistent creation, publication, and distribution of content is really going to light a fire under your sphere of influence. So that's one of those collateral benefits. And I don't really expect people our agents to get really completely bought into this process until they at least start actively working with these leads. Most of the time, it really takes a closing for the light bulb to really go off. But I can tell you, there's agents right now that are in the program that were sent invitations to this call that have leads that there's one in here that's 9 days old. And it looks like the leads even tried to contact the agent 17 hours ago, and the agent hasn't responded. 8 days, 3 days, 2 days, no action. No e-alert has been set up. No phone call has been made. No text has been sent. So this is a direct contradiction to the MIT study. So you're not going to get that validation of actively working with a new client, much less a closing, if we don't get faster with our response time and we don't get more relentless with our follow-up. Okay. So I'm just going to leave that there for now. I mean, this is really, really important. And we've got some folks that are in this program that are non-team agents that are struggling with this. And, that's why independent agents end up, joining the team, because there is this extra accountability There's this, friendly competitiveness. There are these drivers, that come into play that activate, our work ethic and get us more consistent and get us like relentlessly following up. But these things are crucial. I mean, getting these e-alerts set up as soon as possible, whether you've talked to the lead or not, is crucial. Going through the motions of these 7 to 15 touch attempts is crucial. And I would say this, I think a big part of the inconsistency that agents will experience that enter into this program is going to come down to their schedules. Their schedules are not blocked. They are not set in stone. Their schedules aren't being utilized as a guiding light, as a roadmap to success, as a indicator of what to do next. What is next? What do I need to be focusing on next? Okay. And this is part of the benefit when people say, okay, so why Boomtown? Why am I not just using KV Core and doing this? And it's because of the control. Okay. So this is like a controlled experiment and a case study, a lead generation and conversion case study where I can see things like I can see the data. I can follow the data really closely myself and see that I have agents in this program that are letting their leads linger, like they're just ignoring or abandoning these people. And some of these people just registered because they're curious. They were just wanting more information on the property, and Boomtown forced them to register. And they may not have a real estate need in the near or even distant future. We've got, close to 90,000 contacts, leads in this Boomtown database overall that we've amassed since, I purchased the platform in late 2009. And some of these leads, it's taken like 7 years to get active, to finally have a real estate need, but it does happen. And if we don't have these e-alerts set up and we're not at least letting that mechanism, that automated mechanism, help us stay in touch with these folks, we're in big trouble. Okay. So what we focus on expands. It is possible. I want to get you guys excited of what's possible, of what's on the horizon. I mean, we've had agents that have closed, up to 60 of these internet generated leads in a calendar year. So let's add that to your sphere of influence, and your sphere of influence, like I said, is going to boom based on this increased activity on your social media channels. And then as you get busier and start showing more homes and selling more homes, they're going to see at the closing table more often. It just expands, it compounds. This process does. And the Boomtown, again, just lets me see what's going on so that I can coach and train. So I can meet you where you're at and say, hey, this is where you're falling short. This is where you need to improve. This is where you're crushing it. This is where you need more coaching and training and mentorship. This is where you need to do some shadowing. This is an element of your business you need to develop that's undeveloped. This is an expertise you need to focus on that you're not focusing on. And it's going to allow us to scale this process faster and get you into production and change your life. And in the process of changing your life, this is what I've been teaching this for so long. I'm going to end on this, okay? Because I don't want these to be too long to where agents can't view them on other platforms. I'm going to put this on some other Facebook groups and on my YouTube channel because I really want to get agents excited about learning how to fish, being actually able to cut down on their lead spend, if not do away with it altogether, really ignite their sphere of influence and build this business that is thriving, that a healthy sales pipeline that feeds them 365 days a year. But I've been teaching this for years, and very few non-JWRE team member agents find success with it. Now the ones, and here's the thing, the proof's in the pudding, follow the math, follow the data. Follow the veteran agents that have graduated from the team environment to start their own teams. Follow their success stories. I mean, these are some of the most productive agents in the state. Okay, so this is the benefit of doing this, but I'm just gotten tired of teaching to deaf ears. And what I want to do is grow this group and have this group, the members of this group, be like SEAL Team 6 when it comes to generating and converting online leads. And the collateral benefit to me is that y'all are going to go out and just be raving fans, like sing the praises of this program and what it's done for your life, which is going to help us attract more agents, you know, and change more lives and do more good in the real estate community. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of seeing really good agents get out of the business because they listen to somebody in their office who is holding them back, who's saying, hey, don't go over to that program or that brokerage or participate in that because it's not worth it. It's a bunch of junk. It's a bunch of mumbo jumbo. And it's not. It's very, very real. And it's going to take you guys. I would, I promise this will be the last thing I say. I would hope that one of the side effects of this is that some of you take on, first, you recognize the leadership opportunity you have. You recognize that as on a granular, you know, as a micro level as it can possibly get, that somebody looks at you as a leader. You're making an impression on somebody in your office. Some other real estate agent follows you on social. Somebody looks up to you. And if they see you start producing more sales and they hear you speaking about the viability of internet leads and how many you've closed and, you know, how it has afforded you the ability to, you know, invest in real estate or whatever the case may be, you know, grow your real estate business, diversify your real estate business, diversify your investment portfolio, start a new business, pay off debts, whatever it is, it's going to be impactful, highly impactful to somebody who is looking to you, even if it's just a glance, looking to you as the example. All right, so I think I'm done in under 25 minutes here, or just close to it. I'm gonna leave it at that. If you have questions, call or text me 251-583-9728 or schedule time on my schedule via the Calendly app. You can access that via deanofhustle.com. I will see you guys back here at our regular scheduled time, unless we as a group determine we want to change it. All right, see ya.